So, I've been officially doing this whole YouTube thing for a year now. Not as of recording this video, but when you're going to see this video, it's officially the 1 year anniversary of my channel. And I just figured we could have a sit down and we could kind of talk about it. This is going to be less professional of a video. This isn't scripted. You're probably going to hear me talk the way I talk to the people around me in my life, which is my friends and family. You're not going to hear probably the more professional voice I put on when I'm doing character analysis. And you're probably going to hear me curse some more. So if that is not your forte, I just want to make that a warning up front and center. But yeah, I just want to talk about my journey doing YouTube since about a year ago. So what you guys are probably seeing right now is footage from my older videos. This is, well, I started my channel as a gaming channel. The first thing I remember about wanting to do YouTube, I was in the middle of a sport getting ready for football season. It was kind of draining me mentally, and I just needed something to put my creative mind towards. And I figured I've been watching YouTube for the better part of almost my entire life, right? So I figured, why not make my own channel and do gaming content? I play video games all the time. Why not like monetize it and make money off of it? And also just share my passion for it with other people. So what you're probably seeing again is it's my own footage that I took. This is from my first ever video I ever made on my channel. And it was terrible. It was really bad. I didn't know how to get rid of the audio from the background of the footage. I didn't have a mic. I was using my iPhone to record everything. And I'll just play you a clip. It doesn't sound great.
Coolest iterations of Killer Croc, I'd say, in most media. I think he looks completely menacing, just the way he towers over Batman. And just look at how hard it is for the elevator to get him up.
Alright, like, that's enough of that, but you guys can sort of get the gist as to, you know, what was going on with what I was trying to present. The entire first video on my channel is just talking about the first time I'd ever played this game. Arkham Asylum was the first game I had ever played in my life, as it was, well, it was the first one I actually remember playing, so, you know. But, you know, I really enjoyed making this first video, and I thought it was fun, and so I made about 2 more. And my next one was just kind of me playing Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, or was it Shadow of War? I don't remember, but this was my thumbnail. If it wasn't clear, I was trying to emulate the style of like Zanny or whatever, like other highly reputable creators in the gaming niche that were working at the time that I enjoyed watching. And wow, my thumbnails were bad, man. I mean, just compare it to my most recent video's thumbnail, which I think is my personal favorite. Definitely come a long way when it comes to understanding thumbnails and, you know, things of that nature. And it's kind of ironic that the third video ever on my channel was a Miles Morales video. I really like this game, and I just wanted to make like a funny, in a nutshell type of video. I had a few jokes in there about picking the hardest difficulty, and I got my ass handed to me more than a few times in this video, and it was not fun. But again, the video quality wasn't great. I didn't know how to edit out of the background noise, or at least reduce it. Didn't know that at all. Still struggle with that sometimes to this day. I had no, and I mean 0 idea what the plot of the video was. It was unscripted, and I was just recording and playing games to have fun after football practice where I'm already exhausted. And I won't lie, when this video didn't do well as my third video ever, especially after I had just gone and watched Across the Spider-Verse, ironic considering my last video, I honestly just stopped. There was a whole big gap between this video and the next one. Yeah, this video came out on June 11th, and my next video didn't come out until August 27th, after all of summer conditioning was done for football, because I was just too drained after practices. And my next video was a bit of a different style. I decided, and this is unedited by the way, it's the aspect ratio the video got posted because of how the cutscenes worked and the fact I'm recording on a 1440p ultra wide. I decided I wanted to play Spider-Man Web of Shadows, and this was the first game. All the other games I've been playing previously were games I wanted to play because I just enjoyed playing them. But this was the first time I wanted to actually do some sort of story with the videos I was making. And so the whole premise behind this video was it's just gonna open up a joke series for me. And the whole end goal of the joke series was to get Black Cat as Spider-Man's girlfriend, because I thought it would be hilarious at the time. Mainly because this was like peak Spider-Man getting cucked by Paul time in the comic books. So I thought it'd be hilarious if we did like Web of Shadows, which lets you choose. And I thought it would be hilarious if I cover like the Luke Cage portion of the story, as like Spider-Man is dead ass inciting a gang war and just wants to wants to take over the city as a symbiote. But this video was really good experience for me as a creator. It let me set like I learned how to set the background audio to be lower than the in-game audio. I learned how to better mix the audio from my phone and how to do a little bit more of a proper recording, as it doesn't like sound nearly as terrible. I was playing around with green screens, just trying out new and different things at the time, and to different varying degrees of success. But then the running joke that is still on my channel to this day was posted on this video.
Then I saw her.
You say you're a good girl, I say you're a liar. Such a good girl, love a vampire.
Yeah, that's where that joke comes from, is from this series. Now, when I posted this video, I realized, oh shit, the aspect ratio is terrible. So I didn't know how to fix that, and all it was is a simple change in my editing software to set it to 16:9 instead of 1440p. So I decided to do a new series entirely instead. But while I was trying to figure that out, I had a couple major changes show up in my life that were unexpected and kind of hard for me to deal with, to the point YouTube really just became a creative outlet for me. So this is gonna get a little deep, a little vulnerable. Not used to doing this shit on recording on camera, I guess, but basically I had lost something, i.e. football, that had been very important to me over the last like 3-4 years that I've been doing consistently, because I received another concussion and I simply could not handle having a second concussion. I was out of it for weeks. So there's a gap in my videos from the 27th of August to about September 17th. Because I was injured and I was trying to recover, get my grades back up, fix everything that was wrong, and also just deal with the fact that I wasn't a part of the team anymore. I had to make a decision to leave, because they were going to just rush me back out there and let me play when my concussion wasn't really properly healed. And I had to deal with some real pushback from one of my coaches. It was rough. So I really threw myself into doing this whole YouTube thing. And I really wanted to fix this aspect ratio problem. So I decided to take the same idea I had, but swap games. And that's how we got to the Amazing Spider-Man 2 gameplay. I learned how to fix certain things, but figured I could still keep the same jokes about trying to get Black Cat. It would just be in a slightly different medium and format. And so I really tried to do this the best I could. And it was a more jokey series. I learned how to cut out the audio from the video. I cut out the background audio. That way it was just my pure audio when I'm talking over it. And I just decided to replace Spider-Man entirely in the game. So anytime Spider-Man spoke, I just replaced his audio. And anytime he made quips or anything, I tried to replace that audio too. To varying degrees of success, again, because it's like, Spider-Man, he always be talking in these games, and me trying to quip over it was terrible. I had like whole lists worth of quips that I would be using. It was kind of stupid, but I had a lot of fun making these videos. I used this as kind of like more time for me to figure out what I want to do with my channel and do some more cool and fun things. I learned how to use different effects. Again, not the most successful way I've used that effect. I've used it a lot better in my most recent video, but again, just trying new things and trying to be different. And it's also worth noting that with this series was the first time I started posting YouTube shorts, something I don't really do much of nowadays because I don't think my content really transforms to the short form very well, to be wholeheartedly honest with y'all, because I have tried before and it hasn't worked perfectly. But it was about this time that I wasn't just making shorts of the videos I was making. I decided I wanted to make edits, and I can show you a couple of them. I don't think they're terrible, but they're not great. Okay, scratch that. Can't show it because of copyright reasons, and I don't really feel like fighting YouTube right now about music. So just take my word for it. You can go still watch the edits. They're all still up on my channel if you want to go watch them. But yeah, so I'm just like trying to figure out what's working for me. I'm doing daily shorts. I'm making these long form videos going once a week at this point. I'm gonna be real, I was probably the most depressed I've ever been in my life at that time. So I just really threw myself in this content creation game, and I was really just trying to make it as a creator because I'd always grown up seeing this, and I wanted it for myself, right? And I really wanted an audience to share my passions with. So I'm making these videos, and it was a 3-part series. I had some really great jokes, not really great jokes, but jokes I found funny. But regardless, this was really only a short, like 3-minute episode, like 3-episode series, mainly because I hated playing this game with a passion. I don't like this game. I used to love it when I was a kid, but it's not for me, and it low-key sucks so much. So I was just trying to get to the Black Cat portion where we fight her and then we talk to her so I could get the final joke in, give Spider-Man a happy ending, and then just call it there, because I just was not a fan of this, and I was a little burnt out of the series at this point, and constantly having to make jokes in my videos. It was really burning me out personally, and so I needed a switch up in content. And that's when I made my Batman videos. That's right, despite majority of them videos I made about Batman being hypercritical, I do enjoy the character, and I love the Arkham games. And my favorite Arkham game is Origins. Sorry, Asylum was the first, but Origins is my favorite. And I just did a couple videos where I just pretended to be Batman, doing random side missions and everything. I had my first ever short pop off with about like 2,000 and a bit views, and that was really motivating at the time, considering I was getting maybe 2 views, and the 2 of them were from me. No lie, I'll just keep it a buck. Now, I definitely kind of went backwards with this video. I forgot to get rid of the 1440p look of how this is, like the ultra wide look. And I may or may not have learned something valuable with this though, which is when you are editing out a section of the video to have your speak for a character, you have to continue the background music along with it, because then it sounds way too out of place when you don't do that. So that's when I learned sort of the value of doing something like that. But this also gave me an outlet to just be more serious with my videos. I needed to be more serious. I was really struggling with making all these jokes. So I took some time and did 2 Batman videos. But then I came back and I said, wouldn't it be hilarious if I screw Spider-Man over again and I take away the happy ending he got? But how would I do that in the most effective way possible? And that would bring us to Spider-Man Webbed Up in a Multiverse. I played Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions and I loved it. It's one of my favorite Spider-Man games ever. But I was playing a game and I'm like, let's make a series out of this. Let's have Spider-Man basically be pulled from his point where he's with Black Cat now from the Amazing Spider-Man 2 series, and let's have him show up here and just basically be like, hey guys, I'm Spider-Man. Gotta say the multiverse. I thought it would be hilarious. The whole video's premise is a bunch of jokes, but it let me play with some really cool transitions, like the symbiote transition I have in there, the spider transition. Every single character got their own transition. They each got a section for themselves. So I would do all 4 Spider-Men in one video, and they'd each get a montage section as well, where I was using copyright heavy music. So if you ever see this series like vanish off the face of the earth, yeah, it's not coming back because of copyright reasons. And so I would use music montages just to kind of help set the tone for the videos, with an overall arcing plan of only doing about 3. I should have really done 4 episodes and split up the Mysterio ending, but I did like 3 episodes. I thought it was kind of funny. I really enjoyed making these. I also wanted to have each Spider-Man feel unique when it came to their music styles. So Noir had really heavy trap beats. Amazing Spider-Man was often going to be like punk pop, punk rock. Future, like in the future, 2099 Spider-Man, was going to use a lot of more futuristic beats, more Lil Uzi, things of that nature. At least in my mind, futuristic beats, right? And then when it came to Spider-Man, like symbiote, I used like pure rage music. Think XXXTentacion, like his early work, things like that, right? I was using pure rage music. And this was a really fun series for me to make, all with the end game of Spider-Man saving the multiverse and Madam Web sending him back to be with Black Cat. And in between all this, I made a Batman edit. I took one of my shorts I really liked. I turned it into a long form video that was more fun. And then I had also tried a WWE thing, and that video real didn't work out, man. It was bad. But I tried something new. Oh, and I had to replay the entire mission where I fought Black Cat because I didn't have the footage no more and I didn't want to steal from my old video. So I replayed the whole thing. I made a joke about being in a different suit because I forgot to pick the correct suit for this mission to match my first video. But it ended in the exact same way my first one did, and I thought it would be absolutely hilarious. And then I was just kind of out of ideas for a little bit. I needed a new series, and I chose another one of my personal all-time favorite video games, Mass Effect, mainly because it lets you create your own character, gives you dialogue options, and I figured it would be fun. And I split it into 2 different types of videos. So I would have more serious, like mainline 20-25 minute videos every Wednesday. Then every Friday, I didn't want to because I was also going for 100% on this game and I was playing on Insanity. So a lot of the jokes were kind of like, oh, look, the game's so hard, I died. I'm terrible about saving in Mass Effect 1, even though it is one of the games that taught me to save constantly. Very bad at saving. So there were often points where I'd land on a planet, do a bunch of side quests, and then die, and then I would literally be screaming at my computer because I'm in the middle of recording, and that just meant more footage to go through. So, just a little funny thing on my part. But yeah, so I would just kind of make these more funny 10-minute videos every Friday, and I called it Variety Friday. So it wasn't always these types of funny joke videos. Sometimes it was something wildly different. For example, I made an entire Punisher edit because I really liked the Netflix show, at least the first season I really enjoyed, of the Punisher. And so I made an edit for him, and it was honestly my biggest video at the time, which is hilarious. But then one Friday, I'm not even kidding, I was about a Wednesday, I just posted this Mass Effect video, and I was really tired. It was late because I usually do all my recordings later in the evenings and things like that. All my editing and stuff's when I work best. I was sleeping, and I shit y'all not, I had a dream, and in my dream it was me making a video about the Ultimate Avengers movie, and it was me talking about that movie just because I really enjoyed it as a kid, and I still like it to this day, even though it's not perfect. We definitely know this. And in my dream, I saw the title was The Day the Avengers Became Ultimate, and so I made it. It was my very first ever video where I talked about character analysis, and I wasn't really analyzing the characters too hard. I cut it to about a quick 10-minute video, and I really wanted to talk more about the state of Marvel Comics at the time, what the Ultimate Avengers did in the current times, what they had become after they had made their huge splash, and then talk really about Captain America and Hulk, as I felt the 2 characters had a strong parallel to each other at the time, and I found it to be pretty enjoyable to make. Not to mention, that video got thousands of views. It was the first time I'd ever seen any sort of recognition on the platform outside of shorts, and I was over the moon. And I sort of realized I have a knack for doing this more than I do the gaming content that I make. Why don't I just do this for my YouTube channel full time? And so that's what I decided to do. I'm still out of sports season. I'm still chilling, and I said I'm going to talk about movies and do character analysis for the rest of my channel. And it had its ups and downs, I mean, I loved making these videos, but some of them had to come out looking like this simply to avoid copyright. I was trying and struggling to figure out how to not get copyright struck on just about everything I was putting out at the time, and it was to varying degrees of success and frustration. Heck, I didn't even have the intro I currently use to every single one of my videos done until I titled these movie talk episodes until about episode 7 or 8 of the series. I was still trying to refine everything. I was still new to using my mic. I was trying out new things, trying to learn my channel's aesthetics, and trying to figure out what works, right? And so I did this up until April 27th, when everything on my channel quite literally changed forever. And it changed for the better with my Captain America analysis from Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I saw the first day it was a pretty normal curve for me views wise, but it was more than usual. I thought it was great. And all of a sudden I just saw thousands of you all pouring in, not only showing support in the comments, but you're showing support in subscribing to me, watching the video all the way through. It was this crazy amount of success that I didn't even see coming. For 8 months at that point, basically, I had been making videos and it felt like it was to no one, right? Even though I had some of my videos see success, it sometimes felt like I was alone on this content creation journey and I was not going to get anywhere with making content. And then a few days after I posted this video, I hit 1,000 subs. And to me, that was absolutely insane. I was over the moon. I got into the partner program. I just felt like I was on top of the world. And I sit here now telling you all these stories and just sharing with you my journey a year later at 10,000 subs, you know, hundreds of thousands of views. You all made this possible. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Like, you all are amazing. You know, I'll get a little teary-eyed talking about this. Yeah, it was like, you know, it's a little surreal because it's like all those sleepless nights, all the nights where I'm not sleeping and I'm going to school and then I'm going to practice, you know, because I was doing track at the time, and then I come home. It didn't feel real. It still kind of doesn't. And you all are amazing. And that's why I'm hosting this Q&A, guys. Yeah, that's right. It's time to get into the questions and answers for this video. So I have a few questions here that I just want to answer, starting with, what does my video making process look like? So it's probably easier if I explain it like this. I usually start by picking whatever show I'm going to watch that week. And I don't do EMH every week simply for burnout factor, and creative juices need to flow in a different way for me. So I'll typically pick whatever show I'm watching, and I'll typically watch whatever episodes or movies about 3 to 4 times while I'm writing my script. So I'll be watching it and writing the script, and even then I still miss a lot of stuff. Then after I write the script, I'm going to pick out the images, and I'll usually put time codes in my script so I can pick out what clips go with what. And I'll usually clip them all up together and I'll group them, and then I'll talk underneath them or over them. You know what I mean? And then after that process, I typically just do my final edits, transitions. After I'm done recording, I'll do background music, audio mixing, transitions. And then after that, that'll be done for the Patreon version, essentially, with my outro and everything. And then I edit for YouTube afterwards, see what YouTube flags and says they do not like, whether that's in the content I'm talking about or copyright stuff. We know this at this point, guys, let's be honest. Then I will fix it that way, and then I will post the video. And that's just kind of what my content creation style looks like making it. That's what it looks like. So I do have a question here about like what inspired me to do these character analysis, and when I did kind of answer that in the more me talking about my content creation journey portion of the video. Part of what does inspire me to do this is partly I want people to think critically about the media they consume, as I think it's a very important thing that a lot of people miss. Specifically when you watch my videos like about Joker and the death of media literacy with the youth, or if you watch my videos on like Spider-Man and his addiction, I try my best to, make videos I enjoy and that are going to be positive and have a positive message behind them, because I want people to have a channel where they can come and they can enjoy something they watch. I want it to be for everybody, and I want it to be enjoyable. And that's kind of why I create this content and I talk about these characters. And I try my best to avoid negative talking points. Like with my Amazing Spider-Man 2 video, I didn't just want to shit on a movie because everybody's done that before. I wanted to see what was good with it, because I want this channel to be positive. Ooh, my favorite video so far, and by far, is probably my Rogue analysis from 2000's X-Men. God, the X-Men are my favorite group of superheroes. They are my favorite, and I mean favorite. I have some of my favorite characters. I love the X-Men so much, and that Rogue video, even though it wasn't my most viewed, I put my heart and soul into that one, and I love it. And you're probably gonna see more X-Men content coming soon. Oh, some people were asking about my profile pic. Yes, I'm using Static Shock because I love that nigga. And somebody had asked me what I think about Image Comics currently. I did love Image Comics back when Dwayne McDuffie was primarily working with them, but since he's been gone, I kind of feel like, especially with the revamp of it, it's just been not as fun to read, and that's really unfortunate because I love the concept of Image Comics, and I love the fact that there should be more competition in the comic book market rather than just Marvel and DC, because those two really don't compete with each other no more, and it just feels stagnant and stale sometimes. The biggest influence in my life is probably my parents. Let's keep it a buck. They probably the biggest. When it comes to biggest influence content creation wise, I'm gonna shout out some of my fellow content creators. FD Signifier, he made me really start to think critically about a media I consume. When it comes to sort of video style, Implicitly Pretentious does really great analysis videos, and typically shorter than mine. And then like I also really like Shady Durags. He's another black content creator, much like myself, and I just really enjoy his videos. Okay, I got asked what video would I really like to make that I haven't made before. So I know I didn't cover this during my content creation journey, but I definitely deviated from the superhero niche one time, and that was to make my video on it was this Denzel Washington movie. Hold on, let me look up the name of it. The movie name was Man on Fire, and it was the worst performing video I had ever posted up until that point since I had started making character analysis videos. And it really sucked because I enjoyed making that video, but you know, the odds of it getting seen and actually watched probably not super high anyways. It was kind of outside my niche. And if I were to pick another movie I'd want to make like that again, I want to talk about Dune so bad. I have been putting off that project for months. I'm talking since the second movie dropped. I've been wanting to make that project, but I just haven't found enough time, especially when I'm doing all the EMH stuff, when I'm doing videos like this. When I'm prepping for like the 2 weeks I'm going to be gone at the end of June and the start of July to get videos out to y'all, make sure you guys aren't left in the dark. And I would love to make that video. Maybe I will be one of those videos while I'm gone in June or July, you know? Someone asked me where my love of comics started, and it started with my father. He was big into comic books growing up. And he started me reading comics, gosh, I was such a young age. I remember I had the Ultimates comics. I was reading the Ultimate comics. I was about 3 years old. He'd get them off after work, and I would read them. He'd bring them from home from the PX, and I definitely shouldn't have been reading those comics, but gosh, I loved them growing up as a kid. And so the Ultimate Avengers has a little special place in my heart because of that. The X-Men too, specifically though, that was actually the first comic book I ever read. Was Uncanny. Was it Uncanny X-Men? I'd have to go look at the cover, but yeah, that's where it started. And for the final question of today, what do I think about comic book romances? Some really irk me, like Emma Frost and Tony Stark irk me. I don't like that pairing very much. Some of them are great. Superman and Lois Lane are perfect and shouldn't be meddled or messed with, but it is comic books. I don't really try to put too much stock into the relationships between those characters because they're typically extremely fragile and never will last, such as Peter Parker and Mary Jane. They can never be happily married because Spider-Man has to suffer. There are only a few characters that get to actually hold their marriages, like Reed Richards and Sue Storm, who really shouldn't be together anymore. That relationship is terrible. Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne are typically, superposed together, and if you've seen the Hank Pym video, you already know how I feel about that, right? I just, romance in comic books and relationships are great, especially when they're written really well. Such as, I really love the Batman and Catwoman getting married, that run in the comics. That was much more recent. It was ended in a terrible way, but I enjoyed it while it was going on until, Selena left him at the altar because Batman can't have a happy life, all that other bullshit. But yeah. I just want to say thank you all for keeping the comments and what you're asking me respectful and not going too crazy into my personal life, asking me weird and random questions. I truly appreciate that. Once again, I truly appreciate you all for watching. And since you guys have watched to the end of this video, you're going to get a surprise update on what videos are coming next. I don't typically say what videos are coming next, but I have a schedule for once, and I'm going to share it with y'all as a little secret surprise for staying to the end of this, because it's almost 30 fucking minutes long. So we're doing Thor. EMH is coming up next. And then my next EMH video after that will be Black Panther. And I have no lie, no scam. I did not plan to make a Janet Van Dyne video. I was just going to roll her into the Hank video and call it a day. But you all keep requesting that. So she will be the last EMH character for season 1 to be covered. Probably in about a month, no lie. By the time I'm done with the rest of the EMH videos. Then you might get a couple more like, oh, hey, doing... Like, I'm going to do an X-Men Evolution Rogue analysis for like one of the weeks I'm gone at the end of June. So just be on the lookout for that. And yeah, that's kind of the plan right now. Once again, thank you all for watching. You guys on Patreon are going to see this version first. So appreciate you all. You guys are the best. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I just want to say thank you again so much for watching. If you liked the video, leaving me a like would be amazing. If you dislike the video, tell me why. I know it's outside of what I usually do, so I wouldn't be surprised, no lie. And then if you want to leave me a sub and you just come in the first time you see in my channel, please go watch my other content, because this is not really representative of what I do on a normal weekly basis. This is probably going to be a special thing I do every year. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and peace.